Hey, great Friday evening. It is a beautiful evening in the city of Brownsville. And of course, I'm looking at my wrong screen. And it's a beautiful evening in the city of Brownsville for many a reason. And it's just nice and not as hot as it's been. And I'm looking down because I'm looking at the wrong screen. But I'm taking care of that as I speak. I
We
was
live in this new world now, so I think everybody knows the struggle of looking at the right things.
it was crazy, but if you look at the setup that I have here,
Mhm.
uh, people will appreciate that. A lot of times, I have it set up so that, like right now, I'm looking straight at the TV screen up there, and
Uh-huh.
it looks like I'm actually looking at the camera.
That I like that. Yeah, normally I've had a monitor right behind the camera lens for that reason, but I got this new computer and everything's moved around. So first world problems.
Well, and tonight it's a very special night because I have the honor of having the Cameron County Republican Chair, Morgan Graham Cisneros, a good friend of mine. And Morgan, how have you been?
I have been great. It's been a really eventful several weeks since, I was reelected as a state committee woman, and I have the honor of serving as the partner to Judge Gascos, who a lot of people have been asking him to run for county judge again, but at least for the next 2 years, we have the benefit of having him on the state Republican Party administration with me. So, it's been really exciting uh, figuring out what we're going to do to make the absolute most of the time we have, preparing for November, getting people who can work our elections and make sure that our voter integrity is ensured, and that also our voters are best served. This is something that is a public service, and we want to make sure that they have a great experience at the polling places.
Well, it's awesome having you on tonight. It's awesome having you all the time. I'm disappearing.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I love your new setup, and I'm glad to be joining you, again. It's been a while. I think the last time was at the cafe,
Yeah,
before pandemic 2020.
yeah, pre Rona. But one of the things that I think is very important, and I've always been made mention of, I am an advocate of at least a dual party system,
Mhm.
and I appreciate that there's options for individuals out there, and people need to get informed, vet
Yeah.
the candidates, and try to adhere to a candidate that is closer to their heart. A lot of times, a lot of individuals will play the, oh, well, I'm from this party, I'm from that party.
Mhm.
I've always said, go for the candidate, go for the candidate.
Yes.
And
Oh,
as a Republican, party chair, I know that you're out there, supporting the Republican candidates out there, but you want to support the candidates that you feel, are going to be the best, not only for our community, but
yeah.
for your party.
You know, 2020 is going to 2020. This is the first year where I've actually promoted a Democrat, and many other Republicans are joining me in this because, as some know, and maybe I shouldn't be throwing this out there, but as some know, Senator Lucio, who is an elected Democrat, he's a pro-life Democrat. Our Democrats down here are, for the most part, a lot more conservative than Democrats in the other part of the state. And so I try to remind people, there's a lot of diversity, even within political parties. And what we have to do is work together to, because the better competition there is between both parties, the better it serves everybody. Um, you know, I do have a few candidates. We have one, Vanessa Tijerina, who's running for state senator, who's basically one of a very entertaining individual, to put it mildly. But she's struggling, and we also have a lot of really great down ballot candidates. We have John Chambers for sheriff. We have Norman Esquivel running for constable in precinct 1. We have Veronica Deaton running for district clerk. And, we also have Chuck V running for Justice of the Peace in the Harlingen area. So we have some other really good folks. And as much as I would love to focus on those, unfortunately, when you have candidates come up who are lying to voters, I think it's really important, even if they're on my ticket, to hold them accountable, because we oftentimes criticize Democrats for looking the other way when there are candidates who pop up, or elected officials who we find are, breaking the law or lying to the public and doing whatever they can to get ahead. Right. We have another candidate who came up this week finding out that, he is an accomplished individual, very well educated. He does have his Juris Doctorate, so he's an attorney. He's a practicing attorney. But, he went to a medical school in Barbados and was unable to complete his residency, which means he's not licensed to practice medicine. And this is Dr. Ray Gonzalez. This seems like a nice guy. However, after 4 years, I've kind of found otherwise. I've seen his other side. I think you know him, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I don't like him.
So
I don't care for some of y'all's I love a lot of the candidates, and I've met a lot of the candidates. Mm-hmm. But Dr. Ray hasn't convinced me much, yeah. And it's very unfortunate because you want to believe that all the candidates out there, being truthful and are in it, because for the right reasons. Mm-hmm. I've never gotten that vibe from the guy. So
yeah, well, he was running around, and it's actually in writing, in voter guides where he was able to submit answers. He's claiming to practice medicine without a license, and that's against the law. It's actually pretty serious. You can have an MD. That just means you went to school. However, if you did not perform your residency and get licensed, meaning you've proven that you're competent, that you can fulfill the ethics, the Hippocratic Oath, and that you're safe to deal with the public, you can't touch a patient. So when somebody's saying that, he's a physician, and I think his words were, like many doctors, I care for my patients, and, has anecdotes about taking care of patients, when he's not licensed to practice and has never been, and has never worked, for a doctor, so he's never been a physician's assistant or anything else, that's a little scary. And, so I got a call from an attorney who happened to stumble on some of this stuff, really great guy out of Houston. And then a reporter who said, hey, I've been following this story, and this guy, this Dr. Gonzalez is dodging me. He's avoiding all of my calls. I've sent him the question. They're claiming to not get it, but I have a read receipt. And what they're also finding is that his financials are pretty sketchy. There's so much in the public arena. You can go to the county clerk's online records. You can go to the Texas Medical Board and verify all of this stuff, which is what I did before just accepting it. The FEC filings can tell you a lot. And I've never had a candidate until this one who is running for office, but has constantly paid himself back out of his campaign funds. Usually candidates are willing to invest in themselves without needing to get paid back from their campaign. Yeah. And that tells you something. It's problematic. But without, devoting too much time to, giving so much air to somebody who I frankly believe doesn't deserve it. We have the fact that, for example, John Chambers running for sheriff has support from across the board. We have had Democrats step up. We've had incredibly conservative Republicans. We've had moderate Republicans. I myself am a Jeffersonian Republican. I'm not moderate. I'm not liberal. I don't care what people do in their bedrooms as long as they're not causing harm to other folks. As for the Chambers situation, a higher court looked over the case, and only half of the top 1% of cases ever get reversed. Well, his got reversed. Yes. And there's a reason for that. So upon, should he get elected or hired as a law enforcement officer, he would reapply to TCOL, and they've assured me that, he absolutely is eligible to get his peace officer's license. Some folks might remember in 2016, I removed John Chambers from the ballot. So for me to say in 2020, I absolutely support this guy, I stand with him, tells you, I believe he has the bona fides, and I believe he has the ability to do it. And we stand unified and firm in getting it done.
Well, I like John. I like
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
he's a guy. I like Norman. I like Veronica. I like that guy from Harlingen.
Chuck is
Is
awesome.
That guy's cool. I like the guy. I was very impressed when I heard him, and I heard him speak Spanish, and we're like, what?
Yes,
Good
kind of like me, people will see him and they think, oh, he's a gringo, and then he starts to speak Spanish. And but yeah, he grew up in Mexico, and one of the things that he says, which I agree with, and why I think he will go far, if not in this race, although here's hoping in a future one, is that he goes to Democrat events, Republican events. He says, once elected, I to all of you, not just one party. And that's the truth. When these guys get elected, they don't just work for one party or their donors, ideally. They work for all of us, and that needs to happen.
Does my sound better? Sorry, I had the microphone on the other side of the table. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Well, before we go into the nitty gritty of what's been going on today, guys, to everyone that stopped by today to the office, thank you. I love y'all. Olga, thank you for bringing the kids over. Guys, everyone that stopped by, I appreciate it. Thank you for all the food. I never received more food than I did, I think, today. I received Jack in the Box. I received. Well, I'm still eating Frankie's cookies because, believe it or not, folks, I literally ran out of my cookies. I also received food from that meal prep. Scuba Fit Meals. Thank you so much. And I actually received Jack in the Box twice today. And I also got me this can of Spam. I love it. Thank you, Olga, for bringing me some Spam. And I'm not trying to get a sponsorship, but Spam, if you're out there, give me a call. Spam. They brought me Spam. I'm ecstatic. I appreciate all the amazing gifts, everything, the food. I had food. It's gotten so bad, guys, that I actually had to buy a mini freezer, a mini refrigerator for the office because I'm getting tons of food every day. And again, I'm very, very grateful to the community for coming out. Frankie will never be at Erasmo's now. Preach! He could always dream. So if I don't claim to be a doctor, I can still have my mobile.
I've heard like pharmacist without a license, or somebody walking around and saying, I'm an amateur volunteer gynecologist, things like that. I don't recommend doing that, sir. Please don't. If you wish to remain on the right side of some heavy bars, I noticed a few folks were asking questions over here. One of them was about what I think of Vanessa Tijerina and what she said about the Republican Party, but I couldn't see it very well. And speaking of Spam, I saw this one meme where they carved some Spam into shot glasses and said, when you forget your flatware and your glassware, gotta make do. Modern problems call for modern solutions. So, here it is, Vanessa. As far as her saying she doesn't care, the GOP doesn't like her, and she's still running as a Republican. Yeah, she may be nuts, allegedly. I understand, a judge ordered her to be evaluated psychologically. And I know there have been allegations that she's not all there. And I hope she gets help, because she may be a little off, but she's not entirely stupid. And, you know, kind of like some other folks that we all know, that Erasmo probably knows a little bit better than most. You know, if they weren't so destructive, uh, you know, with the intelligence that God gave them, they would be able to go far in life. And you know, she's I take about 5% of what she says seriously. And unfortunately, we, you know, actually, fortunately to a degree, we can't deny people access to the ballot. Neither party can. Otherwise, it would be very easy for, you know, the Democrats, for example, if they have a favorite for any race, just not allow anybody else to run against somebody, and that would be very quickly corrupt.
Well, I got the question. Yes, as I hope my volume's better. My microphone was on the other side of the table, and it was kind of weird. I got
there.
I got the question yesterday in regards to it, Vanessa, and you know, and my comment, I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago. My comment was the same. You know, I pray for her children. You know, she is a mother. I think she has 2 children. I pray for her family. You know, and I hope you know, I hope everything works out for all of them. But in the meantime, something that Kimberly made mention, and you know, to a certain point, I'm not going to accuse of crazy or mental issues or any of the source or assume that I know. But one thing that Kimberly says, I agree with. You know, at this point in time, with everything that has been happening, it is a good time to focus on the person, on the self, and take care of that first. You know, let me tell you, you know, and you know this, Morgan, running for office, and Frankie, I think, knows this as well. Running for office isn't easy. You know, it's not for the weak-hearted. It's not for individuals that, you know, may be going through other issues. It's a tough sport. You know, it's a tough and rough sport, and you have to have thick skin. You know, you'll have everything in the sink thrown your way, and you know, you have to be strong, and you have to be resilient, and you know, you have to stay focused. And I think those 3 things. Hey, Mama, how you doing? I think those 3 things were missing, you know, from Miss Tejerina.
Mhm.
And, you know, again, God bless her situation. God bless her family, and you know, we wish her and everyone else well. But Morgan, one of the things that I think you know, was very alarming that just popped out a couple of minutes ago was the numbers for Cameron County. Let's say the city of Brownsville. Not so much in regards to the positives, because the positives, I think they were like 58 or something, or 50 something, 59. What I think has alarmed a lot of individuals, that 68 deaths were reported today in the city, in Cameron County. 58 deaths in Brownsville, Texas. And I think that's concerning for a couple of reasons. It's concerning for a couple of reasons because I'm going to say this again. Cameron County has screwed up the number count. I mean, it's just been a mess.
Yeah.
And right now, I think that they're just trying to bring everything together. So maybe for the next couple of days, we're going to start seeing, you know, double digits. Who knows? Maybe even triple digit death numbers. And you know, Morgan, one of the things that that concerned me, because you know, I wanted to trust the Cameron County Commissioners Court. I wanted to trust that they were producing adequate numbers, and I fell for the numbers. But then all of a sudden, I started to see these on my feed, you know, on social media, and I measure stuff through social media. I started to see all these little ribbons, and I said, "Can't be right." You know, this can't be right. We take on the number count on the 58th death in the city of Brownsville, the 68 for Cameron County.
Wow. I think that it shows a large level of incompetence on the part of our county judge to have not anticipated that we were going to have far more struggles than other parts of the state and the country. Why? We have a much higher rate of obesity, type 2 diabetes, a lot of the risk factors that we are associating with a higher mortality rate. There are things like, you know, comorbidity and things to take into account. So what he should have done from the beginning is, instead of politicizing it, and spending his emergency management meetings, shrieking about the governor and shrieking about the president and Republicans and everything else. He had the power and the authority to do a lot better than what he has done. What we have seen is how he performs under pressure. Now, Carlos, Gascos has been really careful to not be critical, but he is observant. And, my office's chairman is in his office, and I also have come on as his operations director for his CPA firm, which has gone, independent. And so I have heard that phone ringing. I have, been a part of some of the conversations, or overheard his side of the conversations where people are begging him to come back, or people who supported, Trevino in the last race in 2018, switch sides and say, look, I made a mistake. Judge Gascos, I'd like to support you in 2022. Please run again. And so that's what we need to keep in mind. We've had somebody who took us through another pandemic. There's H1N1, and he had seen us through, hurricanes, Dolly being one. And at no point when voters came to him did he tell them to stop, to stop bitching, or yelled at anybody, for saying, hey, we need help. Our lives are being impacted. Our livelihoods are at stake. We do have a very high number of poor, and impoverished people who are not able to access the same care, or even have the privilege of being able to stay home. They have to feed their families. They have to make a living. And it's that much tougher with kids not going back to school, when they don't have the resources to support virtual school. And so these are things that a county judge should be aware of, and all of the risk factors as well. There's no plan in place, and he's too busy complaining. And that's not leadership. Leadership involves also seeing ahead of the curve and having that intuition and that gut. So gotta have that.
Frankie, have you seen the numbers, Frankie?
I have seen the numbers, and again, it is very alarming, because one day it goes up and down. It's like a yo-yo, unfortunately. Today I passed by Roadhouse and it was jam packed. And again, I hate to isolate and just pick on one restaurant, but I think for whatever reason we have relaxed in regards to this COVID-19 issue that we're dealing with. We are gonna see a surge, in my opinion, in numbers due to the flu and the second wave that's about to hit. But my issue is, how are we going to prepare for the next wave? I believe I saw that Clayton's, shut down an event that they had of the sandcastles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And they're being a little bit more cautious as to the promotions and the things that they do for the public. So it is very alarming. It is something to keep watching on. But Miss Morgan, what would you say has been the response from our governor to our local area dealing with the COVID crisis?
Mm-hmm. I think that the way Abbott has conducted himself is somewhat a laissez-faire thing, because of the fact that Texas is so large. I mean, we're larger than some countries.
Your mic sounds far away.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Very much leaving it to local leadership. And he's also following a lot of guidance from the federal level and, getting information on a daily basis. We also have to keep in mind that Texas is so large and our economy is vast. We are larger than some countries, as is our economy. And so on the one hand, he has parts of the state where COVID really isn't catching fire. It isn't spreading at the rate that it is here in Valley. We have areas with a very high population density and areas that are very much rural, but still contribute a great deal to the economy. So his attitude up to now, even though there were times when they tried different things, has been that you have to have your local leadership leading the way on this. That's a good thing. It's a lot easier to hold a local elected official accountable than it is somebody at a much higher level. for things that are going on locally. And the fact is, nobody should know this area better than our county leadership when it comes to the individual risk factors and everything else. I do know that there were resources sent down here. We'd always hear about when there wasn't enough, but we never hear about when it has been provided and when those provisions have been available. So, I would like to know a little bit more about that. Stacy, yeah, this is just a matter of fact, and it's something that's also coming from Trevino supporters and Democrats as well. This is not a biased opinion. It's just a matter of fact. We do have higher risk factors here. So does Hidalgo County, who also has faced a number of things. But it's interesting that Cameron, considering our population, has had a very disproportionate number of cases and deaths. And numbers don't lie. Numbers are biased. Numbers are what they are. Something is not working. And going and purposely underreporting numbers to the state was denying us the help and the resources that we need this whole time. And they did it for the purpose of elections and for political reasons. So I'm sorry, the unbiased opinion should be that he screwed us over.
Let me address this very, very quickly. Be careful who you invite. Let me tell you, Isabel, go vote for La Rata, because Morgan Graham Cisneros is a friend of mine, the same way that Jared Hockema is a friend of mine. I don't play that party bullcrap. And if you're not going to vote for me because Morgan Graham Cisneros is a friend of mine, Norman Esquivel is a friend of mine, all these other individuals, I don't give a rat's behind. So go give your fair warnings to whoever will listen. I don't play that bullcrap. Simple as that. So if tonight I've lost your vote because Morgan is here tonight, well, then go screw yourself. Simple as that. Very simple. Don't ever come on here again and give me warnings. Ever. It doesn't work with me because I don't care. Sorry, Morgan.
I really appreciate you saying that. I agree with you that we need to support the person for their platform and what they will do in their character. It's not about voting for the party. I have always been against the split party ticket, even when it would have served my interests for people to vote straight ticket. I have many Democrats in my family. I have elected Democrats locally in my family. So
that's one of the things that I hate, and I hate about a lot of the people out here. They're like, "Oh, be careful! Don't go take a picture with this person." And you know what? A lot of the people here, they buy that crap. Oh well, we don't. Guys, if you're going to judge me running for any particular office because a certain person is a friend of mine, because I took a picture with this person, because I took a picture of that one, go right ahead. You know what? Keep on voting the same crap that has kept us stagnant for way, way too long. Look, you got two options in this race right now. In my race, you got two options. You either vote for someone who's going to be out there telling you the truth about what's going on and it's keeping you damn informed, or you go vote for a rich little girl whose only interest is to get more contracts for the family. That's your choice. If you want to go out there and continue to vote for people like Sylvia Atkinson, go right ahead, really. But don't do it on my damn time, and don't come out here and voicing your crap on my damn platform. I don't buy it. Morgan Graham Cisneros is a friend of mine, and I'll say it 1,000 times over. Jared Hockema, the chair for the Cameron County Democratic Party, is a really, really good friend of mine as well.
I like Jared.
Stop playing these damn games. They're the damn games that keep us stagnant as a community. Go vote for a great candidate. Don't vote for a damn party.
Absolutely. No party should ever own your vote. I'm a Republican chairman, and I'm probably going to get some grief for this. But you make those candidates work for your vote. Don't let them just happen to sign on. Look, a party cannot reject somebody who's filing. So what letter they have next to a name doesn't mean they've been vetted. We can't really do anything about it. So make sure that they fight for and earn your vote every step of the way, before and after they're elected. again, I may be the Republican chair. I just started this thing off saying, I supported a Democrat, Senator Eddie Lucio, for state senator. And so are many other Republicans. And so if we can see beyond that, I agree with you, Stacey. Straight ticket voting, bad idea.
Right.
Because the arrogance is that, hey, if I have the right letter next to my name, I don't have to work for your vote. I'm entitled to it. And no party is perfect.
Well, I agree.
Morgan,
Real quick, I agree with Morgan and Stacey. And look, I've called out. I've called out Judge Trevino on a lot of things that I think could have been done differently, but it's not. I mean, you got to respect the office, and I do respect. Hey, mama.
So,
And I do respect the office. And when he was coming out and informing individuals, we sent praise. Once my concern, Stacey, was the numbers. The numbers were all screwed, and by the time they started to figure that out, we'd already had 50, 60, 70 deaths during 4th of July weekend. We only reported 2. And that's the kind of stuff that really bothered me, because what happens is when you don't have más o menos accurate numbers, then people start to become lax and start to say, everything's okay, everything's all right, and let's go have a carne asado. And, say, we know our people. No, man, everything's going great. Let's go out and have a party.
Precisely. I think Stacey was asking, what do you think that he could have done better reporting the numbers accurately and not delaying the public coming to know certain things? I mean, it came down to the point to where he was yelling at folks at emergency management representatives from different towns, because they had the audacity to let their people know about the first death. And there's a time when politics really needs to go to the back burner. But when they're underreporting numbers, like we know for a fact has been happening here, that prevents the state. It really does. I know, she's growing up so fast. That prevents the state from knowing, hey, we have a hot spot here. They may need more resources. They may need this or that. And as Erasmo stated, they really do. These numbers and the information really does affect human behavior.
Sorry,
Got to get
Morgan. We are talking about the straight ticket.
Yeah.
Either party does not have that advantage no more. Well, let's say the Democratic Party does not have that advantage no more.
Mm-hmm.
So now the candidates actually have to work for it. As a Republican chairwoman, what advice are you giving the candidates during this COVID-19 crisis moving forward to November?
They absolutely need to proceed with something called empathy and compassion. That's something that I see lacking sometimes in both parties. We have some who are very fashionable as to when they care about whether or not people have access to the vote, or whether or not certain folks are going to survive long enough to make it to November.
There's no straight party.
Oh yeah, awesome. No straight party ticket. The Democrats have sued though to try to get it reinstated. So be on the lookout, guys. Pay close attention. We need to. It's really kept certain places in a headlock, and I see the same thing for the Republican Party. There are places that have remained red because of that straight ticket vote, which is why some of my peers did not want us to discontinue it. But so sorry, ADD. Product of
I'm going to address this question real quick. What position will Mimi's be running for? Is Mimi's after Las Ratas as well? Let me tell you, I don't know if you saw my morning show, but my opponent in this race for BISD school board was endorsed by Run for Something 2020, and very proudly, put up a little poster. So-and-so was endorsed by Run for Something 2020. So I did a little research, and I found it's one of these fill in the blanks, and you might get an endorsement. So what I did, guys, is that I said, well, let me find out. So I asked Mimi's if she would mind, seeking the endorsement of the vote for Run for Something, and I'm proud to say that que pues Mimi's is one step away from becoming a candidate endorsed by Run for Something. Run for Something 2020. So
Oh my God, I love that.
so Mimi's has Mimi's and I have received her email where she is one step closer to getting endorsed by the same organization that my opponent got endorsed from. Run for Something. So congratulations, Mimi's. Much success to you.
You know what? It's so funny. I'm a cat person too. Actually, I'm an everything person. I've had tarantulas, snakes, praying mantises, cats, dogs, hamsters, everything. And I was here in my desk and I heard some mewing outside my window. I thought, oh, great, because I know the sound of a kitten meow. And I couldn't let it go because I was thinking, now it's going to rain soon. There's only a bush out there that's not going to be adequate for a litter of kittens. So I now have a litter of 6 kittens and the mother living in my house, and they've taken over an entire bathroom. And
well, you could also get them endorsed by Run for Something 2020.
There you go. Run them all for different BISD spots or something.
Traffic has been very heavy heading to the island today. I'm going to suspect that being that it is a Labor Day weekend, we're going to see a lot of traffic out there. Frankie, is that concerning to you?
Like how I said, the numbers don't help. We aren't having as much testing as we were before. That could be. Is that a cat or a hamster?
It's one of the kittens.
Oh, nice.
So cute.
Guys, they were in a very dangerous situation. They were all bound together by their umbilical cords, and the mom was exhausted. 6 babies I'd be tucking out to. And so I had my vet on the phone, and I had to surgically separate everybody very carefully. Otherwise, that's how a lot of cats end up dying.
Kitty cats.
In regards to the island, I think people have been a little relaxed. There's not a lot of testing going on, but people want to get back to some sort of normalcy. So unfortunately, the island is always that that avenue to go have fun and get out, so to speak. So we will be facing with this with this issue in the very near future. We have Labor Day on Monday. The island's going to be jam-packed. I hope we do not have a high rise of positive cases, but that's what it seems like we're going to have late September, probably early October.
Hopefully they take advantage of more open air stuff. Unfortunately, with the rain, I think that'll drive more people indoors. With the UV and outdoor stuff, normally we would hope that it would lower some of that risk. I have an autoimmune disorder. I've always been pretty open about it. And, the treatment for that renders you very much susceptible to things like this. I'm an at-risk person. So I've taken it very seriously, and I've been blessed to be able to work from home. My heart and my prayers, for all it's worth, goes out to those who are working this weekend on the island. There are a lot of business owners who have been very heavily impacted, and also those who their bread and butter is being able to serve. And this entire thing hit during spring break, which is the season for the island. Many people, live off of that tourist dollar. And so everybody's hurting. And so I just really hope that those who are traveling out to the island make sure to socially distance and to also be considerate of those who live paycheck to paycheck and are, bringing them their plates. Who are bringing them their plates, who are cleaning their rooms, who are fixing their beds. And, just keep those folks in mind, because even though you get to leave the island toward the end of the weekend and maybe be, just feeling just fine, you may be impacting somebody in such a way that can knock them off course for a year. One of my best friends, who's also, he's the county chairman of Willacy, and you'll might be surprised by this, we're a more diverse group and people think. He's a log cabin Republican, which is a gay Republican. Awesome guy, Wolf Chapa. He was one of the people that, in fact, the Harina harassed just relentlessly, to the extent to where she trespassed and started live streaming from his family's grave, some family members' graves. Wonderful guy. He got COVID-19, and even though he's testing negative, he's still dealing with the recovery process. Pneumonia isn't just something you get over. He's still having to have his oxygen levels checked, and he's close to my age, close to a lot of our ages. So we've all lost somebody, I would think, at this point, or we know of somebody who has lost somebody. And so I just really hope that those who are headed out to the island are considerate of that, not just their own safety, but everybody else's.
There's nothing more important than the safety, health, and well-being of our individuals out there. Morgan, any particular message out there to the people in Cameron County in regards to what the Republican Party has planned for these upcoming elections?
In terms of, I have positions both at the state level and the county level, so they're sometimes a little bit different. What I'm working on is getting all of those volunteers. You don't have to support everybody on the ticket, but if you have a candidate, Monica de la Cruz Hernandez, for example, if you're in Hidalgo County and you're in her city, please come out and support her. Or Chuck V, get to know their platform. Don't assume that just because they are Republicans that they, are for the rich, or I can think of a long list of stereotypes. I'm a perfect example of somebody that differs from the stereotypical Republican because we're diverse. Just like not all Democrats are socialists right now, even though you do have a socialist faction within the Democratic Party. So we are recruiting people to work elections, to poll watch, and just ensure that nobody's taken advantage of at the polling place and that everybody's rights as voters are respected. Block walkers, phone bankers, folks who, if they're just willing to put a sign on their lawns or a sticker on their bumper for any candidate, I'd really appreciate it. But then again, also reach out if you're just curious about their platforms and things like that, or if you just need voter information. Regardless of who you're voting for or where you're coming from, or if you identify for any particular party or you're independent, if you have any questions with regards to elections, polling places, things like that, feel free to ask me. I am a firm believer in supporting all voters. And I think it's important that both parties compete as much as possible. I think a capitalist competition ensures that we have the best product possible. And, our plans is to make sure to bring it, but to also be very honest with the public when we know that we have somebody who's dishonest and does not meet the standard that we, the people, deserve and are entitled to when it comes to a public figure, a public official.
Well, Morgan, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
And I appreciate everything that you do for Cameron County. I appreciate everything you do for a lot of the friends of mine that are actually running. I had the honor of actually running as well under your tutelage, and I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate everything you do for our community here locally, and I have great faith in the process, and I know that you are, as I am, believe in our Constitution, and we believe in freedom of speech and a lot of the different rights that we uphold here in Cameron County. Be we Republican or be we Democrat. So Morgan, thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Keep those kitties safe, and much love to all the family.
Thank you, and likewise, and thank you for everything y'all do.
No, thank you. God bless.
God bless you too.
Good night.
And thank you again, Morgan Graham Cisneros. Again, amazing individual. Always has been a friend of mine, and always will continue to be a friend of mine. And again, as well as Jared Hakama, who I love. Me and Jared are good friends. I love the man. Uh, Happy birthday, Christian Alexander Lopez.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christian. Happy birthday to you. And it's always good to have different individuals on. But we do want to talk a little bit about BISD before we cut off, and because there's been some upcoming changes, and I figured that maybe Morgan Graham Cisneros, might find that a little bit boring. Frankie, what's new at BISD, Frankie?
Lots of things. I did get information. I've been on the road. I do apologize for my tardiness. This evening, we all know that the employees, teachers, staff have gotten emails in regards to going back. On top of that, special education, they got an email at 5 p.m. Stating that certain changes of the contingency plans that they have to do, the folders, they're going to be assigned to which the IEPs that they take, that they have to pass. So in other words, the parents, that they're going to have to make amendments to the IEPs, because sometimes the classes that they get, they get choice slips. So there's going to be changes, so they can, prepare for special needs children. And on top of all that paperwork, there's some individuals some teachers that teach 7th grade SPED math and 8th grade. And then you go into the general education classes that they help the special needs children in those classes as well. We have teachers that have lesson plans and grades to catch up on. They're doing as much as they can, but for the most part, teachers, the staff, they feel like if they've lost respect for their superiors in the system because they feel that they have failed them. We have seen how they have mandated certain trainings needed, and then now it's like, oh, let's scrap that. Now we're going back to face-to-face. So there's a lot of changes going on in BISD. And, one could say nobody planned for this. It's hard to prepare for pandemics. But at the same time, when we have no leadership at the Glass Palace, this is what happens at Erasmo. And it's unfortunate because the teachers are the ones that are going to get the brunt of the blame for it. And it shouldn't be. It always is, and it shouldn't be. So that's what is happening at the district. There's a lot of changes going on, and they expect the teachers to make those changes from one day to the next.
Well, let me tell you, I'm very concerned, and especially because, look, guys, and again, Brownsville educators stand together. They put out there an update in regards to, oh, well, it's a maybe. It's my opinion that, special ed. No, guys. And this is what really, really ticks me off. Yes, I love Mr. Arismendi out there at Lucio Middle School. Great guy, great principal, great leader. And I'm glad that he was out there helping out our students with hotspots. That guy is amazing, really. I love Mr. Arismendi. I'm a very, very big fan. But look, Frankie, it's something that we've been saying for a while now. We knew that all 8 weeks, and would tell people, guys, it's not going to be 8 weeks. It's going to be 4 weeks. And unfortunately for our community at BISD, it's not all the staff. No, they're going to bring back our special ed kids on campus, and they're all going to bring back every single individual that works on campus back on campus on September the 29th. Doesn't matter what TEA says or doesn't say. They're coming back. That is why it's been a slow progression of them constantly letting individuals know. That's why the superintendent went out there and said, oh, well, I'm essential. Everyone is essential. And that's why a lot of the language that a lot of the principals started to use out there was like, well, y'all are all essential. They did it to all my STEL people, all my STEL employees. Oh, well, just remember that y'all are essential. If we need you to come back, you're coming back. They started to prepare them, Carlos. Let's start to prepare them because this board and this administration, they don't care about the numbers. They don't care that we have 58 deaths in the city of Brownsville, which included a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old. They just don't care. Por los de ellos, Carlos, they want to bring people back.
Not only that, Erasmo, what's happening now is what I hear, and I think we had mentioned it the last time. There's no substitute for nurses, Erasmo.
No,
There's no substitute for nurses. And from what I hear is that they're commenting that from the Glass Palace, the directive is that if a nurse gets sick, they're going to put the toll on an employee to take on the role of a nurse.
that's crazy.
It's crazy. Why? Because there's no nurses available, man. The nurses that we do have, we need to take care of. They're like diamonds in the rough. We need to give them the PPE that they deserve to be able to do the right things, to take care of our kids, take care of our employees, because they're gonna be taking care of everybody, not just the kids that are coming in through those doors, but the employees that get sick too. So if a nurse gets sick, guess what? I guess anybody in the building is gonna do it.
You hit it right in the head.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. You hit it in the head. The nurses, my nurses out there, I mean, have been given wonky PPE. They still haven't received their N95 masks. They haven't received their N95 masks. And now they give them face shields, face coverings that came from Africa or from Timbuktu, or maybe the superintendent brought them back from the Galapagos Island. I don't know. But most of them are wonky stuff that was made in China. Guys, why can't we get our nurses good stuff out there? Why? We set apart $5.5 million. $5.5 million. And you know what? I'm fastidiado with all these people that are going like, well, you're just being negative. You're just being negative. Not being negative. This is the health, the well-being, and the lives of our personnel, of our students, and our community. Frankie, why do people still think it's being negative?
It's unfortunate. And again, one thing that we've been talking about is that these individuals at leadership have been very adamant about wanting to go back. And again, they've been saying, safety, safety, safety. But why are we sending our special population back? I understand that many of them need routine, that they have a certain structure that they are used to. But right now, it is not the right time. So they're going to have another task for the special services on top of the contingency plan. So this is a survey for the SPED kids. They're just tacking on more work for our teachers. It's unfortunate because they already have enough on their plate as it is. I understand that our special needs students population, they are very delicate when it comes to instruction. I understand that, but we are bringing them back to the brick and mortars. And my fear, guys, is that our BI teachers, they're used to students biting, scratching, throwing tantrums, being on the floor. We have carpets on there. Are we going to clean the carpets? There's a lot to deal with right now, and I don't think it's the safe time to go back. They have stated that September 29th is the date that everybody is supposed to go back. So that's my only worry, guys. The special needs population. Why are we sending them back to the brick and mortars? I think we should wait longer in regards to this. We should work better with our parents to see what can be done at home through home-based learning. But we are setting them up for failure and possibly with the risk of obtaining this virus.
I noticed that your opponent also got her daddy's endorsement besides the run for something endorsement. They totally panicked that AOB endorsed you and scrambled to get someone to endorse her. Run for something. Guys, Google it. You won't be disappointed. It's funny as crap. But that's the kind of little tactics that they use in order to say, well, no, look at this little pretty graphic. Squirrel. You think Daddy was going to endorse Erasmo Castro? No, but shut up. Erasmo Castro is not going to give Daddy all those damn contracts. Erasmo Castro won't be controlled by Sylvia Atkinson. Of course, Daddy was going to support little rich girl. Necios. Carlos, again, no one's ready to come back on the campus. Look, mira, yesterday, Friday, an email went out to all my HANA people. Last night at 8:50 in la noche, I posted it myself. No one was supposed to be going back onto campus today at Hannah because there was a positive. Carlos, I talked about it last Sunday. I mentioned it here live. I posted it on my page Sunday, and they found out on Friday.
So
with
imagine
minimal staff,
and
we're
no
sending
students.
everyone home for positives. What's going to happen, Carlos? September 29th.
And no students, Erasmo. No students there. And yet they cannot guarantee the safety of the employee, let alone the student. Why do they keep wanting to force these individuals back when they cannot guarantee the safety of anyone? Not even themselves. The only reason that they have not caught it is because they're by themselves in the glass palace. You know, the turtle riding superintendent is in his office by himself. He's got a back door and a front door. Guess what he uses? He doesn't use the front door. He uses the back door because that way he doesn't have to be in contact with anyone. That's how he's able to stay safe. You know, and he's using the KN95 mask. He gives the fashion mask to the nurses. He's safe.
I'm sorry. We didn't get your question. I apologize. I mean, your question is important. If you send it again, I will answer it personally. I apologize. Sorry. Frankie's opponent is saying that a local blogger attacked her. I'm guessing it was Mikhail. I didn't like that she said that AOB forum was not level playing field. Excuses. It is excuses. And look, Frankie's opponent is la sobrina of the little rich girl's daddy. It's the same crap, man. It's the same crap, and it's the same little game. And you know what? I figured somebody was going to come out with this kind of crap, Rolando, and that's why. And again, I'll say it again. During the forum, I didn't only answer my questions. I also answered her questions. So in regards to being a level playing field or not being a level playing field, the only one that wasn't a level playing field was Carlos Elizondo's. That's the only one. And the reason was because his opponent didn't show up. He didn't show up. That's why it wasn't a level playing field, because he didn't show up. Because he knew he was going to get slammed. Imbecile. Because he doesn't even know what day he's in. He's the Joe Biden of Brownsville. Mendigo chapaneca, chaparro, necio. Anyway, so level playing field. What did they want? Did they want the red? They're so used to the caviar and to getting the VIP and the RSVP and the PP and no sé qué más que they're used to getting. They must get it a lot. Pero goodness gracious, there was nothing more level than that. I answered all the questions. Carlos, why didn't your opponent show up? Frankie, why didn't Carlos' opponent show up? Someone answer my damn question.
I'm not sure. I wish my opponent would have shown up. You know, it's easy for individuals to be behind, you know, Facebook posts. It's easy for their team, Ms. Garza's team, to post things on her behalf. It's easy to put up signs. It's easy to take pictures of cars. It's hard to take the live questions on the fly. It's not easy. I commend Mr. Diaz for coming on the show and willing to you know, show face. I commend him for it. That shows that, hey, he's willing to take that initiative. He's willing to take that risk. All power to him. My other opponent didn't feel that us as a community were worthy enough to hear what she has to say. And, you know, she's probably depending on the blog. She's depending on the women vote. Our community is smarter than that. Our community needs to vet the candidates to see what we have to offer to BISD. Politicking is not through Facebook. Politicking is meeting individuals, being on, and having a connection with the community. If we have no connection, how do we expect for them to get the vote? So it's very unfortunate that happens. But hey, you know,
Hey, did you just disrespect Facebook?
Facebook post, not Facebook show.
Let me tell you guys. I agree with Frankie. And, one of the things that I've had the pleasure of doing is conversing with people, and I talk to people all day long. And all you have to do is stop by my office, and you'll see that people are coming in regularly every single day, sharing their concerns, bringing me chairs, bringing me food, picking up my damn cookies. And guys, let me tell y'all, my cookies are gone. I have no more cookies.
Mine
Oh,
are invisible.
Frankie's got cookies. I got no more cookies. I have officially run. I love ice.
I'm ready, guys. I got shirts. I got cookies. I got tacos. I got crayons. What y'all need? I got.
Don't eat any Frankie cookies. Wait till mine come back. Mine come on Monday. I trip out. I honestly, people have picked up all my damn cookies. So I actually ordered more cookies that should be in on Monday. Let me tell you, my cookies are 10 times better than Carlos and 20 times better than Frankie's. I promise you.
Mine are invisible.
No flavor. Um, Carlos, I think that one of the things that people have shared with me, and I'm sure, and y'all shared with y'all, is that people are flustered. There's anxiety. They feel that no one listens to what they say. So, in that respect, I think Frankie is correct. People don't want to see a Facebook post of what you believe. They want to see it in action. They want to be able to speak with you. They want to be able to have those conversations with you. They want to know that you bring something to the table. And again, one of the things that poor little Eddie is out there. Now he's working through a fake Facebook page and throwing out, oh well, little Eddie, he stood up there with Laura fighting, and I think it's copied one of the blog posts. Let me tell you guys, if you saw the same meeting that I saw, little Eddie left Laura hanging, left her out to dry. La dejó. He stepped aside and threw her to the wolves. The only one with a pair that night was Laura Perez Reyes. The only one who fought not only Baltasar Salazar, but also who fought Sylvia and her crew, which includes little Eddie, was Laura, not little Eddie. Little Eddie was, yeah, he hurt my feelings. He hurt my feelings. And Eddie, it's your third strike. You struck out, little man. You struck out. It was your third strike. Yeah. You only got 58 more days, bro, and you're gone. You're out.
Yeah. Erasmo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show you that email that was sent to about the nurses. You can see the top where it says, please remind the principal we do not have nursing substitutes, which is what we've been saying, right? And in case a nurse is sick, another staff member who's not a nurse, so they're going to pick someone from the school, should be calling the parents to come and pick up students who are sick. How are they going to put the medical knowledge, the license that goes from being a nurse to another employee, a teacher, a custodian, an FNS employee, a librarian? How are they going to force that onto these individuals? So now forget about them being a teacher or an FNS employee. Now they're going to have to be the school nurse too. But yet they keep on going. Social distancing, washing our hands, wearing a mask. Notice how they don't say a fashion mask, or they don't say a KN95 mask. They just say a mask. And staying home when feeling sick. So who's going to distinguish if you're feeling sick or not when you go to the workplace, or if you have any signs and symptoms of the COVID? If there's no nurse.
Well, look, guys, and I'm sorry. There's been such a high level of disrespect to our staff, and not only our not only our custodial staff, our teachers, our front office staff, our nurses. This is evident. There's no respect for their medical degree, their medical profession. There's no respect whatsoever. These
None.
are individuals that are going to be hands-on with our children, with our staff, and they're not even given the proper equipment. And when they were asked for it, Dr. Cantu, the deputy superintendent, said, "Sorry, I know it's not what you want to hear, but sorry, too expensive, no money, too expensive." So, what price, Carlos, Frankie? What price? What price is the health, the safety, the well-being of our students and staff? What's the price?
I mean, ultimately, the price that someone has to pay is death for these people to listen. It's,
Well, and going back into the issues with our staff, and look at, they were ready to hire a new supervisor at Food Nutritional Services.
mm-hmm.
They were literally ready to hire a compadre of the director of Laura, someone who they brought in from bringing in from Port Isabel. I mean, how is it that we are going to hire an FNS supervisor? Was that you, Frankie? An FNS supervisor, and when we're threatening to cut the hours of our food and S people, and even fire some people, Frankie, how does that make sense to you?
It really doesn't. But what do we expect from a district that have been lying to us? They say that they applied or with TEA for the 4 extra weeks. They are telling everybody at the last minute. I don't even think the unions have been made aware that they officially will be going back into the brick and mortars. So again, what do we expect? Again, if it wasn't for people that are vocal, they would be doing things left and right. And what is the community gonna do about it? For far too long, this district has been known, has had that stigma of doing what is not in the best interest of our community. And it's unfortunate, but that's the beauty of having this platform, that we're able to shed light on many issues. And that's when the community comes and says, wow, I didn't know that. I'm hearing it from Brownsville Talk. I'm not hearing it even from my supervisors. I hear it from y'all before I hear it from the people that I should be hearing it from. So it's unfortunate, Erasmo, but that's what we're dealing with at BISD, and that is why November the 3rd is very, very important. October 13th, I'm sorry.
All right, Asma, let me piggyback on.
Piggyback, Carlos. Piggyback. Really, Carlos. Really.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
You know that word. You know that.
Let me tell you right now. Once we're on the board, if I hear that, Carlos, I'm going to literally listen. I'm going to get up, go to your chair, and slap the crap out of you.
¿Me vas a tirar la chancla? Or you can throw one of these and at me. No, really, Frankie, they've made BIZ staff their second priority, man. They need to be the number one priority. Every decision that's being made since you guys have been pushing this, Brownsville Talk, and you've been out there being very vocal for the people who have no voice, has been to put the BIZ staff as priority and the board as second, man. This is what this is all about. Everybody is coming to you guys to make sure that there's a voice that's still there for them to go out or a platform for them to be able to vocalize what's going on in the school. Now they come and vocalize to you guys, and you guys put it out, Erasmo, and guess what? They get retaliated. Are you yelling, Erasmo? You're yelling up from the inside out?
Pobrecita Marisa didn't get the endorsement. Her heart seems to be in the right place. But when your husband helps you answer questions, what do you expect? Let me say, guys, again, it is, and I'm not making excuses for anyone, but it is a lot of these individuals' first time on here. That's why I'm very glad that that Frankie was very, very kind to Mr. Diaz. I did the same. That night, I sent a text message to Mr. Diaz, and I let Mr. Diaz know, ánimo, ánimo. because guys, I know for a fact it isn't easy, going on and answering questions on the fly. It really, really isn't. And again, I want to believe that Mr. Diaz, Marisa, and all the other individuals that even my opponent, I want to believe that their heart is in the right place. I'm more concerned about my opponent's heart being in the right place because of Daddy's contracts with the district. That's another story for another day. But at least she showed up. At least Mr. Diaz showed up. At least Marisa and Coach showed up. The other opponents didn't. So yeah, I understand. One of the things that I think was very, very telling in that race, Rolando, I agree with you. No one should be whispering or helping anyone answer questions. Complete no. And I didn't like it at all either. I've answered that question a couple of times already. But with that said, let me say something that I was very impressed at the percentage wise. I think it was 43% and 45%.
Mm.
That is very, very telling, guys. The percentages to me are important because they tell you that they want the incumbent out. That's 80, 43 and 45 is 80. 80. I'm pretty bad at math. 88%. 88%. So you're talking about maybe 12% being Minerva supporters? That's very telling. And let me tell y'all guys something. It's very, very telling because if you notice our percentage wise, our percentage was an average of 75%. 75%. And the incumbents, Phil and Minerva, they didn't do that well, folks. Philip was at a 19%. 19%. So again, guys, that is very, very telling. Those are actual polls, not like the blogger polls. Those are the ones people need to take advantage. And I mentioned that because, and I've shared this with Marisa and I've shared this with Coach Joe Rodriguez. Again, I speak with everyone that will speak with me. It's their race to win. It depends on who wants it more. Does Marisa want it more? Or does Coach Joe Rodriguez want it more? It's that simple. Whichever one of those two candidates is to, hustle it and start going out there, talking to individuals, getting people to come out and vote, they will defeat Minerva Peña. Minerva Peña is not coming back, folks. Is not coming back. And you have a choice. You need to choose. You need to reach out to both candidates, Coach Joe Rodriguez and Marisa Leal, and determine which one of those candidates is going to best suit you in that race. And I'm going to say, even in the race with no endorsement, no endorsement for place 3, guys, no incumbent. Vote for whichever other 3 candidates you want. Vote for them. And you have the opportunity to vet Mr. Vito Cardenas, Sargelia Miller, and the other candidate who's a Minerva candidate. It's your call. But vet them out, really. Erasmo, so is it safe to say that your respect for Laura Perez has been renewed? Let me tell you, I love Laura. I love Laura's family. I didn't like what happened last year around this time, but that was last year. I appreciate what she did. This past meeting. It took a lot from her to do that. So, do I respect what she did at the meeting? 100%. Do I respect that she's still trying to work the votes to make sure that that he's gone? Yes, she should, because she is 100% right. She is 100% right. And I think a lot of individuals out there who watched that meeting, they know that she was right. And Philip Cowan flip-flopped. Minerva Peña was so nervous that she didn't know. She probably put on her mask backwards 10 times without even realizing. But she was defending her cash cow. She was defending those $3,000 that she was getting for this campaign from Baltasar Salazar. She is part of the problem, folks. And I'm sorry, flip-flopping Philip, I'm going to give him till September the 10th, the special call board meeting, to do the right thing. So Philip Cowan, September the 10th, do the right thing. Little Eddie, as your last hurrah, do something. Carlos and Frankie, I want cookies. Hey, Peppermint Patty, what about my damn cookies?
Yours are not
You,
invisible. Yours are not invisible.
you know, guys, in regards to the special thanks reload, we got this. In regards to the special board meeting September the 10th, we have two incumbents that many people will be watching, and the pressure is on them. What will Mr. Philip Cowan do? What will Miss Minerva Peña, board president, do? Miss Peña, for whatever reason, having the most experience, having the more years on that board, wasn't aware of Mr. Baltasar Salazar's situation. She needed proof. So that is the reason why it was pushed for a later date. So it's going to be very interesting. We're going to have these two incumbents let us know how they feel moving forward. Is the district in good hands by having the board attorney stay on? I think that is going to determine many people whether they should vote for them or not. So the pressure's on them, guys. The ball's in their court. Let's see how they vote September the 10th.
Carlos?
I agree. I mean, it needs to be done on this next, special call board meeting, Erasmo. There's no need to wait for evidence. The evidence has been there for years. Minerva knew. Minerva knows. Minerva knew what she should have done. To allow this to continue and to push and to have Cowan say, well, I'd rather have the new board do it. Those are the answers that come from Sylvia Atkinson. Let's push it to the new board. Why not do something now? Why not show the individuals that they deserve respect now, not in November? This is what they're showing them. They show what they're not worth it right now, but maybe later. Later. Oh no, not 11:30. It'll be like
Not
a board.
11.
It'll be like a board meeting at Erasmo.
Do you think maybe she was cleaning up her image for the current election? In part, but there is something to that, I will say. But again, I think that, look, this is my take. I think Tony is right, but I think that she knows she's out. She's leaving the district. I think she wants to leave the district in a better place. It took this long, but maybe she wants to leave a mark to say this is what she accomplished. Because let me tell you, and I've said it and I'll say it again, the most powerful individual at the district is Baltasar Salazar. He is more powerful than any board member. He is more powerful than any group of board members. Baltasar Salazar. So maybe I want to believe that maybe she's trying to right a wrong. So again, I can't judge where her heart is, but her actions, they spoke very loud this past meeting. Frankie?
Could it be a political move for Miss Laura Perez Reyes to save face as she has a challenger, Carlos? Possibly. I would like to think that she's doing the right thing, and it sucks. It sucks whenever you're in the minority and you want to do change. Sometimes going against that wave is not the most popular thing, but it's the right thing to do. She's going to get criticized for it. She was shown opposition from other board members as to, hey, this is personal. Why are you doing this now? What changed from 6 months ago, a year ago to now? So again, we are seeing Ms. Laura Perez Reyes taking a stand. Is that for political reasons? Is she trying to show the community, hey, vote for me in November? I'm doing the right thing here. Possibly. But Carlos, I would like to think that she's doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Well, maybe she got the moral compass, and she feels that this is the right thing to do. Unfortunately for her, she doesn't have the majority. She had Edelmiro who started off strong and then ended up very weak. He gave in to Sylvia Atkinson's, technique by saying it was personal. It's not personal. The fact here is that during the application process, there was a lie. And now it's being called out, and everybody on the board should have done the right thing. You have Drew Brown immediately stood up to protect him and have him give his side of the story. Immediately, you had Sylvia Atkinson say it was personal. Immediately, right after that, and then Mito said, well, maybe we should, okay, uh, what happened? 32 years as a police officer didn't give you the cojones to stand up and do the right thing? You have your puppet master behind you pulling your strings? This is what needs to stop November the 3rd. We need to have individuals there that are individuals. They're going to go out and they're going to voice their concern and they're going to do the right thing, whether the majority or the minority don't want it. You saw it last night. It changed in a blink of an eye because Sylvia pulled strings. Philip quickly turned into, I don't know this, a lawyer. Talking about a lawyer in the Fifth Court District Court, he says that he's tried cases. He should have known better. Minera Peña, yes, officer, piggybacks on everything. Should have known better. But to put cover and to give an extension to another month or to even push it over the elections to make sure that a board comes in, whether it be a strong board or a divided board, then guess what? Just continues to, the status quo keeps going. Erasmo? The status quo keeps going. There will be no change. That should have been made there and now.
100%. Isn't Verizon and Sprint the same company? Did they merge?
No, that's Sprint and T-Mobile.
Huh?
T-Mobile bought Sprint.
Yeah.
Oh, T-Mobile. Yeah. Let me tell you, I know for a fact that they're having a lot of trouble with a lot of the hotspots out there. That might be the case. A lot of the hotspots out there, and it's not been a good situation for anyone. And again, this is partially why, guys, they want to bring everybody back onto campus, so they don't have to buy any more hotspots, so they don't have to get any more laptops, because it's kind of hard to find right now because it's so late in the game. Again, if they would have started off early, as we had suggested and recommended back in April, we wouldn't be in this predicament. We'd be ahead of the game, like Port Isabel is ahead of the game, like McAllen is ahead of the game, like PSJA is ahead of the game. Mm-hmm. The only district that's behind is BISD, and that's despite the fact that we have the largest budget south of San Antonio, and we have more higher paid upper level personnel. We got 2 deputy superintendents. We got 7 area superintendents. And let me tell you, we don't need 7 or 8 of them. We don't. We don't.
And the thing here is, why is everybody else ahead of the game? There's only one answer to that. Because they don't have Rene Gutierrez as their superintendent.
When will the choice of who will be board president and et cetera be that day that we are sworn in? We will have an emergency meeting. And that same night, 2 hours after we're sworn in, we will have an emergency meeting. And we will, reshuffle the board. And not only that, we will discuss a couple of matters that are emergency situations at the district, which include vendors and goals. Goals for our superintendent in regards to safety, health, and well-being of our staff and our students. Good evening. The board's complacency with this Salazar's action is an insight into the corruption, the wrong dealings by the district. Complacency equals corruption. And Vale, it's all about the money. It's all about the contracts. It's all about the money. Everything that they've done is always about the money. That is why, and again, maybe it's self-serving. That is why I showed you how my opponent's family is head first into the contract situation with BISD. That is what they want. That's all they care about, man. That's all they care about. How they can make more money for themselves. That's simple. I feel like teachers are being treated so horribly because principals were told to make it unbearable on purpose because virtual teaching is actually awesome, but they don't want us to like it. Frankie?
I saw a picture. One of my friends sent me a picture of a 90-year-old professor doing distant learning at some university. I I forget what university, and the message was that, if this individual could, at his age, we all can. And I understand there's a lot of uh, connectivity issues. Parents work, but the teachers, they need to be treated with respect. They need to leadership needs to stress that they have their back. And time after time, for whatever reason, you would think that during a pandemic, during an election year, that they would say, hey, you know what, teachers, I empathize with you. I understand what you're going through. I know your struggles. Let's work through this. But no, they're lazy. They don't want to work. They, they complain too much. This shouldn't be the way we treat our staff. They're the reasons why, and I'll keep on stressing, they're the reasons why we were an A district at one point. And now they're lazy. It doesn't work that way. We need to change the morale. We need to make sure that our teachers are compensated above market value, because we can talk about, oh, teachers are great, Carlos. We could say, oh, yes, you're good, you're good. And it's like that relationship. If I tell my other half, my spouse,
You're
if I
married?
tell her if no, not yet. Not yet. If I tell, I'm single, by the way, taking applications, just kidding. If it's like actions speak louder than words. If I tell my spouse, my girlfriend, my partner, I love you, I love you, I love you, but I don't do anything to demonstrate that, if I don't provide for her, if I don't give her security, what is she gonna say? Screw you, man. You're all talk. Same thing. Same thing with teachers. We could talk the talk, but if we don't actually do what is right and demonstrate with our actions of paying them above market value, none of this $67 stipend BS. No, let's show them that we appreciate them, because they are the ones that are dealing with our children day in and day out. That's very important.
Yep.
100%. They want us to beg to go back. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And that's, I mean, you hit it on the nail. It's very, very unfortunate. Look, guys, there's no reason distance learning shouldn't be working. There's no reason it shouldn't be working with proper planning. And look, where the district completely failed was they didn't bring in the experts, Carlos. They had the opportunity to bring in the teachers, the diagnosticians, the counselors, and say, guys, y'all went through hell the last 6 weeks of last year. Tell us what your opinions are on how to make it better. Carlos, they didn't even call them up.
No.
They had a bunch of people making decisions who didn't have to go through hell, Carlos.
No, they're bringing them in at the last minute, just like that email that we just saw. You have the director of the nurses for the school district, the largest school district, telling everybody that non-licensed or
Rona.
non-medical licensed personnel is going to make decisions. Hello, that's crazy, man. Now, at the end of the game,
Erasmo, weren't you going to share a recording with us? Not tonight. Some night that Frankie's not on. Actually,
Dun-dun-dun.
I could share it. I could share that.
Share it. Share it. Do it like the Laura. Que salga el desgraciado.
I wonder how many people are on. Let me check real quick.
They're probably already asleep already, everybody.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, no. Well, this is for our loyals, the loyal crew.
The loyals.
We got a good crowd. We got a good crowd on. Go for it.
Do it. Do
Okay.
it. They can talk about it over about our call tomorrow.
Quiet.
Put it into place on May the 18th, which is phase 3. So that way, there is
Can hear.
that they know about it, but you got to make sure principals in every one departments that this memo is that is understood by everyone out there, and that these are the things that are applying now because everybody's seeing that some people just don't want to come to work. And I tell you what, in general, I'm not going to talk about BIC. In general, some people say they're afraid to work, but they were at the mall on Saturday morning, waiting for the light. You know, they were at the mall, they were at the Walmart and HEBs and everything, but they're afraid to come to work. Okay, if you're afraid, you won't be anywhere, right? That's everywhere. Okay, I'm not saying BIC. I'm just saying in general. If you look at it,
Do you hear it?
things are happening. But
What an idiot.
They just don't want to work. They could go to the mall. They could go to HEB. They could go to Walmart. They just don't want to work. That's the superintendent.
Disrespectful, man. What a disrespectful.
And there's more. I just got to figure out a way to make it louder so that everyone can hear, guys. But no, man. And my folks, I want you to know that I don't come out here to talk just to talk. I know my opponent is Erasmo's just being negative. Shut up, little rich girl. Shut up. It's not being negative. I'm expressing the concerns, the wants, the desires of individuals that you have no concept or clue of. My people, my folks who eat spam. Spam. Because spam is awesome. That don't eat caviar. That don't eat lobster and steak anytime they want. That don't vacation to Europe, little rich girl. So don't go out there mouthing off. My opponent is just being negative. Shut up. Take that golden spoon out of your mouth, imbecile. Necia. What district has that Wi-Fi hotspots installed by the signal post? You're talking about McAllen. Proactive. I just wondering, can the buses that are hotspots, can they go into the neighborhoods that are in need of internet? Because I really don't see many people out at Stell, but I'm sure they might have students in need. Also, for those whose parents work and can't take them, let me tell you, it's very unfortunate. I mean, look, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and we've shared pictures of our poor students, sitting on the curbside in this heat, trying to get close to those buses, Carlos. It was ill prepared, ill planned, because they had no plan. They had no plan.
And they're saying, Erasmo, that it's less than 300 feet of radius on those hotspots. So they're not really that hot.
When you guys on the board, is there enough money to obtain Wi-Fi for everyone like McAllen? That is the city's responsibility. We as a community need to continue to put pressure on these individuals to let them know that we need Wi-Fi. We need to become a smart city.
Yes.
And I hope, guys, that with this will force the city and the county to try and expand their Wi-Fi network, because we're in the digital world. This is a necessity. It's not a luxury no more. What could happen if we have something of this magnitude occur again? We need to start preparing for the future, and the future is internet. The future is Wi-Fi accessibility to everybody.
Yep.
The district's handling of COVID-19 expectations of students and staff to go back on campus is criminal. I agree. And should be dealt accordingly as a crime. Whatever happened with We Are About the Children. Yeah, they're not. They're about giving Sylvia Atkinson money. That's all they're in it for. Just words like everything else uttered by the current board. Sad, sad, sad. And I'll tell you the three sads that Vail is referring to. Sad Minerva, sad Flip Flopping Philip, and sad Edelmiro. Me. There's 3 sads on that board that want to come back. Number it up. Please, please, please post it on your page. I'm going to try to get the sound augmented, and I will post it on my page because it has to come out. People need to know there's a stark difference between being negative and being realistic. Thanks for saying it how it is always. I'm sitting at home. I'm not. Guys, I have. Thank you to my friends who took the picture of the sign.
Looks nice.
It's ready for anyone that wants to have it as a background. It is on my page. So take it, use it. It's Brownsville. Make it yours. Love spam, don't care for caviar. I've actually never had caviar, ever. I mean, never. I'm eating chilaquiles. Yes, I want some.
Perfect time for that.
Anyone that wants the background, it's on my page. Take it. It's yours.
Just donate. Donate to the campaign.
I don't need a cafe. Please. Carlos, last words.
Just say thanks for having me here. Don't forget, BIZ staff members, we are here to be your voice. Send us your concerns. We will make sure that we reach someone so that change can happen. And as you can see, change is happening, and we haven't even stepped foot inside the Glass Palace.
Yeah.
As long as we are here to make sure that the individuals that need to be told that something is wrong and to respect the employee, we will be here to do that. Feel free to call. Don't call me like you do Erasmo, because Erasmo has nothing else to do. No, I'm just kidding. But, I don't know how he does it, but thousands of people reach out to him. But believe me, feel comfortable. Feel that whatever you tell us, we'll get moved forward. We are here. Remember November. That's when true change comes to the district. Thank you, guys.
Amen. God bless. As a teacher, I'm up at 7:30 a.m. to get ready for my students. Spend all day in class in front of the computer because synchronous learning, no breaks, no planning period due to block scheduling. Just an hour lunch. Students log off at 4:05. Then the grading and preparing for next day begins and ends. Wait, I'm sorry. I don't want to work. Come on, man. I think as many teachers, I'm working way more than superintendent on 1/8 of his salary.
That's true.
He doesn't care, Vale. He doesn't care. The board doesn't care. Because the board, you saw flip-flopping Philip out there. Oh, the superintendent is exceptional. It's great. It's wonderful. It's the best. Blah, blah, blah. When y'all are voted in, please don't forget about us. What's your name? Never River. Never, never. Hey, if you know Erasmo Castro, and he was the same back then as he was when he was off, today, and tomorrow. Frankie, last words.
Thank you to our community. They keep on spoiling me. I got a tie. I got more socks.
Stop doing that.
I got some more goodies. I got a cheesecake. Just all in all, I'm very appreciative. I keep on asking for your patience. Surprisingly, everybody wants the merchandise. Everybody wants the cookies, and I'm flattered. It is an awesome problem to have, that I don't have time, that I've run out of merchandise. So thank you so much for our community. We have been getting an amazing positive response. And, it's very telling whenever they try to attack an individual because they see that we're ahead, that we're doing good things, that we resonate with the community, and they're jealous of that. They're jealous that we connect, that the community wants us to be in a position so we can all be part of the change at BISD. I'm so thankful. I am so humbled, and I'm so eager for October 13th, and I'm very more eager for November the 3rd. For November the 3rd at 7:30 when those results come in. So thank you so much to my community. Thank you for your patience and your love. We're going to keep on moving. We're going to keep on trucking, and This is an amazing feeling. Thank you so much, guys.
Shout out to the Cisneros family.
Yeah. In regards to hobbies, I love playing tennis. I just can't find anyone that wants to, you know, wants to let me beat them at tennis. So I love playing tennis. I love eating cookies, and I love I like getting gifts too. Um, guys, I want an invisible cookie. I have actually run out of cookies. No cookies for this weekend, but I'll have more cookies on Monday. Guys, the cookies are a hit, and they're a hit because I think that they're very indicative of individuals who you know aren't putting their hands inside the pockets of vendors, are not digging into special interest groups. We're using our resources and we're using your resources because look, at the end of the day, it's like I was talking to someone today. At the end of the day, uh, Prissy Roca Tipton, she spent $75,000 on her campaign.
Wow.
Wow.
$75,000. Drew Brown spent $50,000 to $55,000, and let me tell you, $55,000 and $75,000 could have bought me two houses down southmost. Two houses, guys. Think of that. For that money, they have to work for their vendors who gave them that money. They have to work for those vendors to give them that money. The difference is when you help out this campaign in regards to, hey, I bought you a small donation, give me a couple cookies, here's a couple of bucks. The difference is that our loyalty is to you, and I want y'all to know that me as a community member, I'm tired. I'm tired that they always give us the crumbs, the leftovers, what they don't want. They try to distribute that to my nurses, to my office staff, to my food nutritional services, to my parents, but worst of all, to my students. And I'm tired. And we as a community need to be tired of the damn crumbs. No more crumbs. We want the full cookie. It's a cookie revolution, guys. It's a cookie revolution. And you have the opportunity of being a part of it, of affecting the change that is so much very needed at our district, at our city, and at our county. And it starts today. It starts with you. And we finish this revolution on November the 3rd. And on November the 10th, when we get sworn in, I swear to you, that night, you will see the promises that have been made here on this platform come to light. That night, during that emergency meeting, you are going to be a part of that change that you supported by breaking down with a donation for a damn cookie. So come get them, baby. Love y'all. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock in the morning. Guys, be good to each other and please be good to me. Bye.
Put the comment